good game to spectate.
Health here.
Hell.
Oh, beautiful,
Jesus.
beautiful. Also, again, we spam that Discord link to get these slackers in here. Don't forget. Don't forget that. Sorry for the weird noises. And oh, damn, this looks no. So, blue team, who wants to fight into that?
I mean, I can, but I just played, so.
Oh yeah,
I'll
well,
guess
I'm
I'll-
just got invited from pasta. Otherwise,
We got Esprit. We got
That's it.
Tito, Vela.
Look,
We got
people just
Breno here.
switched.
We got. Damn, we got some nice players here as well. Benzo coming in, Glam, Cheese on duty, Cole, and then we have Impact, Atlanti, Rom, Jambit, and the Lord himself, the undefeated Mesmer King, Lord himself. All right. So this game will be yet another triple node setup for the red team. We see Atlanti with his Condi Berserker coming out. We see Water Weaver with Berserker Amulet. Then the Bunkery Soul Beast, Vibrant, and Rom with the Heal Breaker. A new supports back. And then blue team is answering that with the Reaper, a Spellbreaker for the side noding, a Thief for some roams and stealth peel. Then we see actually a core Guardian as a support, and Helted side is 1v1ing into Atlanti here on his home node for the blue team. So it seems like blue team attempts a really heavy far push over here. They're pressuring Cole there. Red team answers that. Rom, their support, is roaming in to sort of match that team fight, and mid goes uncontested. So red team will have a head start if they are able to sustain this on their home node right now, even though it's not fully capped yet. But we see Cynics going down here from the Lich auto attack spam, very skilled. But Rom, he didn't get the battle standard. That could have potentially been a res, but it didn't get off in time. So now they should disengage the 2v4 scenario here. And the middle is being picked up by Sneaks again, so there he swipes the map pressure away. However, the 1v2 taking place on the red team's far node might give them enough map pressure, and blue team with their hardcore middle on getting down Rom here, but they really need to get this node fully capped, and so far they haven't been translating it, although the kills are rolling in now. In the meantime, we see red team picking up the middle node as well as holding the far node. Atlanti is looking sort of solid into her side here. So yeah, let's see how blue team now spreads onto the middle node with the kills that they got, and if they can really get enough pressure in. We see, however, sneaky decap coming out from Sneaks onto the middle node. So now, since the 1v1 on far is neutral, blue team has to just hold their far node, and they will slowly but steadily get map pressure. Get the map ticking in their favor, and with Arwen going down here, they're in a pretty solid state here right now. If they can contest the middle node in time, yeah, just one tick before it capped, this can be pretty good if they continue to contest their far node. And Riken is answering into Xenix with this. So, Headed side actually getting a kill onto Atlanti on his node. This is looking pretty good for blue team, since both side nodes are being picked up here. And middle is still one tick away from being capped for the red team. With the knockback, Cole actually gets the cap onto the home node, even though it doesn't look like it. And with the heal breaker from Rom, they might be able to sustain it for a little while. And that little while means that... Oh, damn. Actually, red team gets the rest here on their home node with another fight that is taking place, a 2v2. Sorry, a 1v2, in which Viking is being fairly pressured right now. But at the same time, let's see if blue team is actually able... I mean, he's still holding the node, but died on it. And now we see roams coming in, and Atlanti is also pushing onto the far node again, and Helted side is not there to reply to that. So the node's being picked up by him. They get the kill onto Rom, but they're really zerging right now. With their side node down on far, and their home node decap, this is not a good state. Like, they lost so much map pressure due to simply zerging onto very few people and not getting these kills in time. This is not favorable, and now we see both nodes, home and mid node, being picked up for the red team. And this is where the points ticking come into play, and this is where red team can potentially come back and sweep this. We see Cole being fairly pressured here, has 2 great sword out. He's on Mendes, so he should be fairly tanky. And yeah, able to get out in time, and Rom is there for the resustain in case anything bad happens. And we see Sneaks going for a +1 attempt here onto Adelante. This is probably the right call and should have taken place earlier, because we saw the 1v1 there already got kill pressure withheld that side. So it's better to plus that, because there it's more safe that you get something done than the 1v1 that is taking place on the far node with Warrior into Ranger. In the meantime, blue team doesn't seem to get anything done here in their middle node, and yeah, however, blue team's node is being picked up. Adelante does not really try to contest that, which is probably the right call. Sneaks is being very pressured here, and with the bleeding tick, he's gonna go down, and Rom is there. Oh, he's actually contesting the the blue team's home node to really get some massive node pressure out. If you could get the decap there, this would be really massive, because then they would get a much higher lead, or a much faster lead build up. And yeah, it seems like blue team is sort of dispersed. Now they're 3v2ing on to far, which is what they sort of did at the opening. But it doesn't seem like they're really getting kill pressure here. But now with Lucaso coming in, oh, he actually had to port back, he was being pressured. Oh, Xenix dropping low. Can they... However, they do not seem to get these kills rolling in, and that's why, with all that time that it takes, red team is really building up a solid, nice 50-point lead here at this point, 60-point lead. And we actually see... Nope, sorry, that was the death shroud. But Aaron is being pressured here. He's forced to use his elite, but now we got Rom coming in, and we will see the battle start out from him potentially. Yep, and there they got the rest. That was really clutch there by him. They're holding a triple cap at this point, and blue team really needs these kills, and they can't seem to get it into these sustaining players who are playing individually pretty well. We see a 1v1 of the Rangers coming out on the blue team's home node. It's being plussed by Sneaks, but he's being followed by Adelante. If he could use his portal properly to middle, that would be much better, but it's already being picked up by Raiken, who has gotten the kill onto Aaron. The 2v2 is taking place on the red team's home node. And I really don't think we will see a kill pressure there. It's a core support Guardian with the Reaper there into a heal breaker, extremely tanky in itself. So let's just watch what happens in the middle node, because there is a 2v1 taking place. Adelante is being fairly pressured, Rampage Boulder flying in. The question is, can they finish this kill? This is really needed, and Adelante actually goes down. We now see Aaron rotating into the nodes. So the question is if Messin can get that kill in time. He had stop, so he can. So now, as long as blue team picks up the middle node here and potentially gets a decap on their home node, this game is back in their favor. They got the kills to do so, but the question is if they can execute this snowball technically in time. I don't like that Sneaks is going into this sort of really messy sustainy fight here. I'd much rather have him +1 the 1v1, where it's much more impact. But Aaron is finished off here, and they might, they are able to pick up that entire node, and they're sort of pressuring red team inside of their spawn. But the thing is, there's still Ranger 1v1 taking place. It now just has been decapped. Before there were so many points ticking for red team, and their home node is also, the middle node is also neutral or red team the entire time. Rom being pressured and killed here, but Adelante is now contesting a 1v2 situation. So technically, blue team could spread out again, but now it's both Thief and Reaper into Firebrand and Weaver. Sorry, a Thief and a Reaper. This is definitely not optimal to fight somewhere. So they probably have to give up middle, and Lucaso might go down here if the Thief doesn't peel for him. But now the support is coming in. The question is if they can really get the sustain onto Lucaso in time. He's at 20%. Oh, they just get the heals off. The Eternal Ranger 1v1 is taking place. The node is very neutral over there. And Raiken being able to pick up the far node into Adelanti, who's pretty pressured. But now there's Rom going in there, and he might be able to get the battle standard for Adelanti that has just gone down. Does Rom? No, he doesn't get the battle standard in time, but he might get the decap. Yeah, and with that decap, blue team again, like, he prevents the hard snowball that would come from the picked up middle node here and the kill. Sneaks +1 onto health at site is really nice here, because now they could give him just the node ownership. This is pretty much all they need in this sort of bunkerish setup. But he's actually being pressured, the Soul Beast here. And there is a fight going on in middle right now, as well as far. So let's see how they split, because again we want the Guardian to help out the Reaper there for his sustain. And Sneak should just either focus on getting a kill in the middle node or +1ing that far node, bailing Riken out in time. And now we see Riken moving away, Sneak's coming in for this sort of aid, and yeah, still, it's one node ticking for blue team in the middle, but red team should be able to pick up a node here. Riken still being pressured. They sort of try to get a kill here onto Xenix, who pretty much juked them, or blue teams decided to disengage. And now with Far being picked up, it's 1-for-1 node ticking. Oh, but we see the kill onto Riken coming out through the Weaver here in a 1v2 situation, which is surprising. And question is how they translate this, because then red team could plus into the blue team's home node even more. Although Adelanti is going down here, does Rom have the battle stun? Yeah, he precasted it. That was so quick. Very well done by him, and probably good communication, even though Rom is not in voice chat. And they're sort of trying to pick up the Reaper here off node, who is sort of being stun chained, but he's able to get out with Flesh Worm. And Sneak's got a really crucial decap this like 20-30 seconds ago onto the red team's home node. This prevented them from snowballing that hard, and with that he had to go back. Then Xenix was isolated and blue team got a kill there, so at least they might be able to pick up the mid node, or at least get some pressure and not let red team completely snowball over them. That side is currently in a 1v2 situation, and Cole got the node ownership, so it will be a hard task to really get him off. So right now, red team with both sides being picked up in a really chill spot. They're fine sustaining this. Blue team actually needs to do something about it. So we see Reaper and support Guardian coming to reinforce their home node and leaving middle node open. But red team doesn't have a thief. They aren't immobile, so this is less dangerous. But on to the far node here, we see Riken being pressured out. He had Sneaks with him, but now they sort of have to retreat because the respawns are already coming in. And red team got a pretty solid regroup on their home node before they pushed now into middle. And let's see how that goes. Rom is there to come in for the sustain for Xenix. And again, we said that blue team tried to group up on their home node, but they still are not able to get a decap going there. So red team holding this two node situation, they're really comfortable with that. This is basically what their comp revolves around, and with that, it's just blue team really has to do something about it and get some sick out numbers. So there's a lot of pressure on the thief, as well as good rotation and coordinated spikes. And coordinated spikes into Amanda Soul Beast and Amanda Spellbreaker. Yeah, that's a nice meme. So I don't think we will see anything change here on the home node. Whereas, however, there's a kill going onto Xenix in the middle node right now. And with Xenix being that here, or Xenix, however you want to call him, they might be able to sort of spread somewhere. But Riken is being pressured out here, and Sneaks contesting far into Arden is pretty troll right now. This plus is much more needed on the actual fight there, taking place on their home node, but at least it's neutral now. And if they'd be able to pick up middle node here by killing Adelanti, possibly, 2 HP, and the trade saving him there just for sliver of health. Oh, actually we see the stun combo coming out from Adelanti, and now he has his block available. He could potentially get out here. But however, blue team, it was the right decision from the warrior to just cap the node entirely. And this eternal 2v2 on close is just too long. Now Lucas decides to go into middle and leave his guardian 1v2, bunkering that, because red team would be in such a massive point lead. Well, red team obviously wins the game right now, but technically they want to push red team off the far node at this point, simply because they really want to get their pressure there, and guarding being 1v2 is favorable because then they can outnumber elsewhere, and they really need to outnumber. They need to go in with more people just so that kills can actually take place here. So yeah, really good sustaining by the red team, and with that we saw some good node ownership. However, we also saw some nice kills coming out, nice rotations, so overall a good game to spectate. So let's check these comps. We have Teapot with his Sage Brand here, and Amanda Soulbeast. Then we got Sneaks as a roamer with DP Shadow Arts Thieves, I suppose. Yep. Then we got a Burn DH as a sort of side noder, and Nova model with the Heal Breaker, and another teamfight support that is also able to bunker around the node pretty nice. Then we see Sari contesting her home node, and a 3-man split coming out from the blue team onto the mid node. Nope. Actually, it's Dom is sort of hovering around and questioning whether or not he should contest into Cole. So right now, the red team should technically have an advantage here, coming out in the middle fight. However, Rom is there with the Seal Breaker to sort of sustain, and Bumprex can deliver a nice amount of CC pressure, but they're 4v2 here. So, question is really if they can sustain this state or not. Red team now picked up both their home and mid node, and there's a 1v2 taking place. 1v2 taking place. Cole dropping fairly low, and they get the decap here. But the question is, if they don't get the kill, it's doomed. And also, there's a heal breaker from the red team there, so they definitely have a safe rest. This is safe there. However, what's not safe is the red team. Since they're pressuring pretty well right now, blue team here, and Teapot dropping dangerously low, actually going down here, and they're able to get the kill here. However, at the same time, Sneaks is going for full cap, and now with the Dragon Hunter capping middle. Red team map-wise is still in a sort of good place, even though Teapot went down. It really comes down to if red team can sustain their home node. Cole, a lot of pressure onto him, and actually goes down. And question is, if the Spellbreaker doesn't have his res available with the battle standard, maybe the Ranger can drag it out with his pad, but
no,
not in time.
And if you would try that, like, I think Lightning Rod has
a lot of pressure on the heel breaker, but now there's a fire to back him up. So red team actually really, they're still in play here. There's a kill, however, coming out onto Sneaks, and Messian is now forced to sort of go away and contest the far node instead of middle. He's being answered to by Blumthrax, and there's a thief in pursuit. There's Stomach chasing for him as well. So let's see how that plays out. So on the mid node right now, there's Cole against Sari, which is a bunker into Spellbreaker. Cole should be able to hold this node, but Halsef is roaming in. However,
but
with the heal breaker coming there as well, this node will definitely stay even. And now we see Rom, a heal breaker, contesting into Teapot. Thief Plus is coming in, but the question is if it's really relevant. It's like something tanky against something tanky. I feel like it's much better to get some map pressure going. But now with Hellstuff coming in, if they could focus him, for example, that could be pretty big. However, red team is not able to pick up their home node.
But he has a renew focus, so I think it's
However, there's
fine.
blue team, Dome, Johnny Sinstrunner, is able to pick up the aggressive buff here. And with that, he's sort of looking to plus into middle. Sneaks, however, for the defensive buff, But if they can get a kill here in middle, that would be huge. However, blue team is in a really, really nice spot right now. And buff really paid off there for um, the man himself, Johnny Sinstrino. Yeah, so blue team is in a pretty nice spot because they have nodes. The red team doesn't own any nodes. They're really able really well to hold this and sustain the state. Rom and Helsef, a legendary duo there, really able to just mess around on the red team's home node for so long, and Blamfrax is picking up his home node again. Question is if that outnumbered situation really makes a difference here for middle, but no, it's just 2v2 taking place. And Cole saw that Blamfrax picked up the node successfully, so went back to help out middle. So yeah, right now red team really needs to make these moves. It's a decap coming here from Sneaks potentially. He should not waste time so much stealthing up. He just needs to run because red team really needs some map pressure right now because they can't seem to pick up the mid node. But blue team is so well able to sustain. However, as we say that, Rom has died though, and the decap has come out from Sneaks.
They get Villanova.
And yeah,
So,
the thing is, if they're in this situation, they really need to get map pressure rolled or commit less hard into middle, which is what they
this
did.
is a vengeance. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, which is what they did. We see a Thief 1v1 coming out, but Dom is straight up gonna ignore that potentially. So let's see how this pretty crowded team fight here actually develops. So let's see who's the target here. I mean, Blamfrax is being sort of low. He's just cutting out and thinking to plot
Yeah.
bomb here.
Yeah, but that's like the V2 now. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. So roll. It's still I'd say it's definitely a slow game here. The +1 from Dominic coming out. The question is if Messi survives that. He has renewed focus available, but with Thief has some really nasty CCs for that, and he doesn't have stab. Yeah, but overall, blue team is in almost the same state again. They picked up both side notes, and they're pretty solid players, so therefore they should sustain this pretty well. Yeah, and then slowly develop a point lead. But Blam is being 1v2'd here by Soulbeast and Burn Guardian. So question is if he can sustain that. Weaver is sort of problematic. Weaver has some problems with Condi pressure if they don't play for full cleanses. But yeah, now they try with heal like Lord House of Romdu tries to pick up the Spell Breaker here, but I wonder if it's enough pressure to get something done, because at the meantime, like, blue team can just freely pick up some buffs, and now with the roam coming in, I mean, Teapot has died in the 1v2, has died here, but, like, the roam would have been even deadlier, and this sort of the rotation was correct there. Blam right now is fighting a 1v1 against the Bunker Soul Beast. It will be a matter of time until the Soul Beast here picks up his node. And
what's wrong with Solvis? He's literally just walking, not even auto attacking.
Yep. But we see a plus coming out from Johnny Sinstrino.
I think they might.
And they might get actually a kill here, which would be really huge because then they're sort of free. Perfect, because now they can pick up that node and they can finally get some, more done, because maybe the team fight needs help, although the Dragon Hunt is pretty pressured here and Novia model went down as well. So this is pretty good for the blue team, because right now Sneakers is like the only one really alive and isolated there, picking up his home node. But blue team seems to get kills and kills and kills here and there, and this this constant numbers advantage might really pay off. Blam's being answered to again by the Soul Beast. Sort of an unfavorable matchup, but still. God fucking damn it. So now Rom comes in. Sneak is obviously, he sort of tries to defend his home node, but it's definitely not his job. And with Rom being there, he should just leave. It's neutral, keep it neutral. And the good thing, however, is that sorry, no, actually no, it's not his team that owns the middle node. And now with Novia model going down, he might get a stealth here.
No, he's not.
Damn it! I felt like they could have done something here. But imagine, for example, he was there before, to outnumber middle, then maybe with that pressure, or at least with the stealth utility, the warrior wouldn't have died there.
They might get
But-
health of. He doesn't
Yeah,
have.
House of dropping low here.
Oh,
That sneakers went
he's
down,
gonna get
sadly.
kill. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this just way more and more points for blue team. Blam is able to pretty much keep his node contested into the bunker soul beast, which is a pretty nice achievement. But eventually, with time, there will be a D cap coming out. But it doesn't matter. Blue team has a triple cap going for them right now, and Domus should go for that aggressive buff here, health off with the defensive buff, and this just a nice, neat stat boost that makes it harder for red team to really get a snowball going here. But there's
Yeah,
just
double
one
buff.
player on each node right now, and if they get the pressure onto Sari here in time, Sari dropping down here, and House of with the rest, can they get the cleave in time? It doesn't seem like they actually get the rest here. That's really huge. And with that, they're just able to sustain that for even longer and just really get the snowball rolling here from from the nodes ticking. So now they definitely have to give up middle, the blue team here, because red team really forced it in. But then again, they're giving up the entire rest of the map just to get some kills rolling here. So now sneaks with some spikes onto Sari, but I don't think it's really gonna matter. She's just gonna kite up there to the jumping puzzle, and then she's out again. So red team definitely. The problem here is that they never really got these caps rolling, and sort of established something to match the point that blue team gained simply just from these caps that are rolling in constantly. Blam pressuring Cole here pretty nicely. The question is if oh damn, the knockback coming out.
Call was blast. Like
And
Thief was there for like a minute or so. So
yeah,
yeah, that he's probably out of cooldowns. But
it's
that
still like
permanent immobilize is very enjoyable.
yep, a nice experience for everyone. And with that, he almost
Yeah,
picks up the node
he's gonna
entirely.
get it probably.
And this one tick away,
Yeah.
and this is all why we love
There it
this.
is.
So yeah, now with that setup, it's a lot easier for them to sort of come back. But there's already been a point lead of what 200 points, just through blue team sustaining their state for so long. Teapot kiting for his life here, chased by Dolme. They, now he looks to die
He's
on
gonna
node
get the
here.
next step. Oh, there it is.
So overall, more like a one-sided game here. Red team really struggles to crack through blue team's defenses here, and they're just able to really hold these outnumbered situations and therefore establish a good point lead. Whereas red team, when they're outnumbering, they don't seem to pick up the node entirely in their favor, or they seem to lose it. Um, like we see with the bunker soul beast and the beautiful immobilize, that's definitely a reasonable amount of time. That has a reasonable duration. So now with Teapot and Messin, there's some pressure onto their home node right now. So red team picking up the sides and focusing on them is probably a good decision here for them. However, middle is still capped by blue team, and there's no doubt that they will
Johnny
not
Sins
win
going
this
down.
game.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting. Yep. I mean, there's no doubt that red team is not going to win, but just through the team's rotations wise, it's probably the right move to go for sides here again. And then simply because, oh, actually they might get the decap here in middle. This could be pretty big, but the point lead is already so huge. Like red team is executing this pretty well. Now there's Sari and Blam contesting the Soul Beast.
Yeah,
It's
they're
still
trying
one
just to
situation.
see him off.
Yeah.
There's no killing it.
The decap coming out, and let's see how that plays out. Cloud Helsef dropping pretty low here. Just gets out with a sliver of health, 280 health here,
Maybe he can get the heal off. Oh no.
and sneaks,
Nice.
missing his spike onto the Lord himself, interrupting the Heartseeker. Evade coming out there, saw to the fear coming out, pressure. He still got 1 CC, and now Dom is there to help him out. The Lord doesn't fall. Sneaks
Oh,
being picked off here.
He's gonna.
But
But,
yeah, with the defensive buff, there's obviously a
but
rest coming out. But he has learned his lesson. And yeah, overall, Red Team really just having, again, 2 nodes being picked up. The Soulbeast outnumbering there does really a lot of work. Although right now it's a
Blem
3v2
is gonna
taking
go down,
place.
but
And
I don't
Blem is
think they
going
care.
down here. Sari is pressured
They're
as
gonna
well.
get far probably.
Yeah.
There are 3
So
people.
overall, I think especially team comp wise, there's already a pretty big struggle for
Yeah, but
Red
you
Team
know
to
what's the
get
most
this work.
interesting thing? Rom is playing support, Killbreaker, and he was only sitting far.
Yeah, however, the thing with support Spellbreaker is that it's a
Yeah, it's
really
very tanky.
self-efficient bunkerish spec. So ROM bunkering is actually not a bad thing
No.
per
It's
se,
not a bad thing.
but
But
I felt
yeah,
like
again,
yeah,
it's kind of
'cause-
weird. That's what I wanted to say.
yeah, but it really works in this triple node setup, or like in this side focus setup that they were playing and executing here really well, because they were able to hold these outnumbered situations for so long. Sneep's trying to get the kill pressure here onto Rom with Messin, and I managed to get that kill. Oops. Oh wait, never mind. I confounded. I actually confounded Rom with a Novia model. Yikes. Yeah. Also, even if Novia model, like he contested mid, obviously a lot more, but still, like you can also be isolated as a spellbreaker sort of. But obviously, there's like a lot of utility and a lot of benefits to being being with your team. We see 2 Roamers for the red team. We have Power Ref and Thief. Then we got Sari on the Berserker's Spellbreaker, pretty offensive, and Bueno on his Condi Berserker. And the Brian, not impairing to anything here, but with the Tempest to sort of team fight, sustain, but he can pretty much roam in between points. And then we have Blue Team with the triple node setup. They got a Weaver, they got a Heal Breaker, which delivers some really nice sustain. They got Dome on his Thief for the roams. They got a Power Ranger and Aaron on his Firebrand. It looks like Zeal Firebrand, I suppose.
Yes, it is.
Yep, so Mendes. Yeah. So overall, there shouldn't really be kills coming out here in the middle node, and this is definitely decided by the side node. So let's look onto Capablanca and Dome actually facing off here, while plus wanting Warrior and Ranger. Sari is being pretty pressured here, so unless Capablanca can sort of stealth her out, he'll interrupt by Dome. Damage pressure coming out, full counter, and
Yeah, he got.
she's sort of running away from Capablanca. Like, he could bail her out, probably pretty good. But then, yeah, no kills taking place here. The thing is, that the red team picked up their home node with Breno at the beginning. The Brian being pressured here, however, it looks pretty dangerous for him, but he's able to get out. It's just so much. It's just a nice, slowly ticking point lead that's being generated here for the red team. Because there's like both nodes are being kept even. There's a 2v2 taking place with both thieves, like still hovering around that duel, and Sari seems really to be pressured in here, but she doesn't go down here, unless I jinxed it. But now, full counters not being proc, this could be the time where she drops. And yeah, now she has to leave the node. Big rapid fire and smoke scale knockdown, and this is pretty nice for the blue team because now they can finally pick up their first cap. And Aaron is contesting into Breno, so now the tables have actually turned because now blue team is able to pick up a capture point, and then roam with that and contest 2 nodes at the same time. They would need to sustain this for pretty long just to catch it. Like for a solid amount to sort of catch up. And there's the threat of the thief decapping, and we see Bell being in play right now. Mid is still sustaining all of this really well, however the Brian seems to drop low. He has cooldowns available like his mist form, so there's that. Also got his heal, but pretty patient. It got interrupted though, he has to cleanse right now. Teleports away, and Yeah, there needs to be some more appeal onto him. However, we see a kill coming out onto Brenner because he's been being +1 there. And this is pretty big for blue team because now they can potentially contest the bell.
Yes.
And by changing the player numbers, something like middle might go differently than expected. But overall, like middle won't change. Let's check out the action on top of the bell, because we've seen this matchup before. But now Capablanca threatens Dumble with decap here, and actually gets it. And now, yeah, we will see how that plays out. But Sari has to hold a 1v2 situation already, and Dom is full capping because he knows, yeah, that 2v2 setup is fine. So he just wants to make sure these points are ticking for his team, because yeah, it's just building up a much better point lead, and Brenno is off respawn again and capturing his own home node. So the question is if Sari can sustain this for really any longer. She definitely has to give up the cap here, and Dom is chasing with the steel backstab. Boom, dead. And the power F that's sort of roaming in will not change that. However, Nova model is sort of roaming in, but then already quit again. So yeah, this is overall looking pretty solid for blue team, but they don't seem to have that much node pressure now. However, they will pick up their home node, and Dom is probably forced to decap that then. And there is this 1v1 taking place on the red team's home node. And meanwhile, mid contested. This is looking pretty well for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is looking pretty well for blue team now, but Sari is already trying to move into that ranger. However, she's being followed by Dome, and there's a lot of pressure coming out onto her. And she might even drop down from here, and Matu going down. That's pretty big, but battle standard not coming out apparently. Was it cancelled or something? I mean, it's still available, but this kill could potentially be game-changing. At the same time, Capablanca here is going for the decap. This sort of negates, yeah, the lead that this kill would have technically gotten them. And now we see Sari contesting it, and they will change up the matchup. Weaver into Warrior, which was back in the day, it was sort of favored for Weaver, the Condi Weaver. It was a pick against Warrior. But now we see the +1 coming in on the red team's home node, and Brenno is being killed yet again. However, in middle, Nova model is dying, and if red team could pick that up, this would be pretty big. Like, they sort of retaliate for that. They got a kill for kill. However, Brenner is being bled out, whereas the other one was instant. Bell is coming up, and it doesn't seem like anyone is contesting itself like far from the red team.
Yeah.
If blue team gets this for free, this could be pretty big. If Brian is there just in time, but the knockback, and actually pretty clutch knockback there. 50 points now. Like, blue team got 75 points just off the bell. This game is technically pretty close, but like with these kills at the right time, it's creating a really huge difference there. The Brian being pressured and using his mist form, and I mean, as long as the mid node is neutral, this is still alright. Also, another thing to note: Matthew died on his home node, and Sari is contesting it, but there's a 1v2 taking place yet again. So they will pick that up and neutralize it, and then we will have neutral nodes all over the board. But Shuriken goes down in this 1v3 situation here because Brenno decided to roam and give up the cap to Aaron here on his home node, which is usually his responsibility, but he decides just to stay around in the middle. Meanwhile, Sari is still kiting for her life, and the Brian is technically there. Like, they want to get to her. Like, Capablanca wants to stealth, but Brian wants to resustain. And another thing to mention right now is that the power ref is facing into a ranger, which is really suboptimal. Like, he needs to be creating big pluses with in synergy with Capablanca instead. Like, for example, right now on their home node, plussing Sari there and getting a quick kill onto one of these blue members could be good. However, if she's outnumbered, you don't really want to plus that. Yeah. But now we see them, the red team, sort of putting pressure back onto the far node. However, they are deciding to chase a kill here, and the power ref is sort of 1v2. He's being picked off. He was really out of position. Then Brenner contests middle now, and we see sort of the team fight taking place now on the red team's home node, which is owned by the blue team. Blue team will pick up both side nodes at this point, and Dom might come in with the decap onto middle, and that could be really detrimental if Brenner doesn't get that. Yeah, he doesn't get it, and now Bell is in play. This is where blue team could get a really massive point lead. Honestly, the Rangers should just contest the Bell at this point. Just get on there, because it's a really big threat. He pushes into the 1v1. I really don't like that.
Yeah, Thief is moving to the bell, maybe? No.
Yeah, and then Capablanca is just gonna get the decap there, and I'm not sure if they can trade decap for decap. And another thing to mention is that Vibrian went down in this sort of team fight scenario here, and Sin and Ref being pressured. There's no sustain for him. They should just give up this node and kite for their lives. Meanwhile, and due to that kill, now someone was able to leave that fight. They 1v2 Brenner on the middle node, but what's much more important is the bell that's ticking here right now. There's a Thief 1v1 taking place, but if the heel breaker gets on it, like, it's done, because yeah, like, well, you're not going to push that away. But instead of the heel breaker, Iron is going there, and Warrior is picking up the home node, which is probably a good idea, since blue team just needs to get some caps back. Like, they're lacking the map pressure right now due to the kills coming out. Also, Matthew just dying, for example, as well. Sari picked up her home node. Dodgerel does damage. Breno contesting middle. Like, there is so much going on for red team essentially, but with that capture and now contesting the bell, they recovered nicely, and the thieves are already chasing basically, so that there's no decap coming out. Question is if Doma might go down. Doma might go down here. Yeah, Sari was coming in, and now she's threatening the decap. They get the kill onto Johnny Sinstrener potentially here. I really love that wordplay. And red team with the tornado from the Brian here might be able to actually get something done. Yep. Aaron dropping scarily low and going down and possibly being cleaved here. This is pretty big for red team actually. I did not expect such a turn in that way, but this means that red team can really come back from this right now. Kill coming out onto Matthew, and the heel breaker just sort of sustaining for a bit longer, but I don't think he will last that long. Like, and now Dome, maybe he tries to go for the decap. This would probably be the best idea, because they really need to stop these points taking in. Red team is catching up, and the bell will even like make that jump even faster. Like, Brenner, oh actually if we look at middle right now, Brenner's being fairly pressured, but the pluses from red team are coming in, and he looks pretty solid again. Question is if the ranger dies or not. The good thing is that Bomber picked up the full cap on the far node. This forces someone to respond there, and he prepares a cap for his team to hold, which is really what they need right now. But then there's a Thief 1v1 taking place, and it's being plussed by a Revenant. So this is pretty scary, and red team should be able to snowball that. I mean, just look at the kills coming out. It's a 3v5 again, or with these two members just respawning right now. I mean, blue team is sort of bunkering around their home node, but Vibrine is sustaining Starry here pretty well, and this is just a nice stalemate. And meanwhile, red team should be able to get some caps back, but I really don't like that Capablanca left the Revenant to 1v1 a Thief. Like, eventually a Thief is gonna win that unless the ref makes this exploits a mistake by the Thief. But if the Thief doesn't make a mistake, Revenant should lose here. And this is what we see. This was pretty thrown away. I don't like this too much. But now red team fully catch up. The points are sort of even, and there are a lot of kills coming out on the blue team's home node. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
but the problem is that they do not get the node entirely, so this really... We just see what Sinan is self-rezzing. What? Okay, he forces Dom back for a while. Like, he costs him a few more seconds. But this 1v1 was so troll. I mean, Capablanca is obviously going to get the decap now, but... No, Dom realizes that. Really big play by him, honestly. Like, knowing, okay, there is one person I can really contest into, like holding the node wise, and overall I really like this play by him here. Sari, meanwhile, is pressuring Arwen on his home node. Blue team might lose that, but then if we just look at the team fight, this is again the stalemate. Not much is going to change there, but the range is coming into plus Sari, and this is pretty big because the Ranger was a pretty good answer to Sari so far. The Firebrand wasn't as effective, but a 1v2, she's not going to hold that. Obviously, Capablanca is now there to hold Dome, but Dome is the side-noding thief, like really creating some good value there. Because at this point of the game, this is really what they need. Like, he's keeping two players there, juking nicely around with his Shadow Stabs. As long as he doesn't die, this is massive. Red team has to go for the node capture the entire time. They should not chase Dom, essentially. And now he's back to contesting the node again. It's just beautiful, honestly. Like, don't chase when you pressure that little thief fucker. Red team is so reliant on nodes right now. Because there are stormates taking place in both middle and close. Although now Red team is actually able to pick up middle, but it's so important. Actually, it's just so important because
now. Oh my god!
And also Aaron is picking up that node.
Yes.
That's
very well played.
It was a pretty big throw here at this point, like a misrotation, but then it's like a team misrotation.
Right, but this was a fine match, by the way. It was.
Yeah, we went to time actually.
Yeah.
But there were some things that could have really made a difference, and I really like that they were able to come back. If we just look at the timeline here, that Red team was able to really come back from a pretty significant point difference here, and that it went so close at the end. Anyway, so game starting, we see Phaleth on his SD rifle Deadeye. So there will be some lovely action coming out. A core support Guardian, Berserker Soulbeast Ranger. Breno coming out with a Condi Berserker. And Esprit running a pretty offensive Hollowsmith build here. And then blue team is trying to answer that with a Mirage, Lloyd Helseth coming in here, pressuring that Soulbeast with Grenades Hollow, who's currently contesting Breno. But Breno gets a CC chain on here, and question is if he can get kill pressure there. We see Aaron running with Firebrand, and then we see two Weavers, both power. So to note here, the Soulbeast already went down. He's been pressured out by the blue team there. We see a roam coming in from Blam. With that, they're able to definitely pick up that kill, and Phaleth, who sort of wanted to go for a sneaky res, might get punished here. At the same time, Esprit went down, so there's a lot of kill pressure coming out from the blue team onto red team, and they should therefore get a good map lead out of that. They got their home node picked up, but Phaleth is actually getting a decap here, and he's not being contested. However, if blue team is able to continuously get kills here, maybe onto Breno, who's low right now, this should not matter too much. But if Phaleth goes for a full cap there, that's definitely favorable for the red team, who has to regroup. Okay, so the Core Guardian support sort of coming out. And it has actually surprisingly a lot of healing, but not as many boons and utility as a Firebrand, obviously. So yeah, Phaleth came out with the decap, not the decap, but the full cap there. So now they get some even points ticking. Guardian is being pressured here into his elite, and they could actually now blue team could get a kill pressure onto this red team's support here, but Esprit is really sticking closely onto him. And Phaleth also managed to pick up a decap in middle, and now they're pressuring Helseth over there. Helseth goes down. But if we look back to red team's home node, it doesn't really seem like they can get something blue team can't really get something done here, and they're being picked off one by one. And now Xenix is being sort of pressured. He's running berserkers with divinity, so he should be fairly vulnerable. Anyway, let's check onto Blam, who seems to be leaving right now. I mean, there should definitely be someone picking up blue team's home node. Lord Hellsov ignoring that and pushing into middle where Aaron already went down. So now he realizes he can get something done there and probably full caps his home node. In the meantime, Balam tracks being pressured here. CC onto Esprit, but with the rocket turret,
Yes.
finishing him
Very
off
much.
here. And already some BM coming out get shit on. We have to talk about that later. But red team is sort of able to come back from that. Since yeah, they just created a good amount of map pressure with the thief as a roamer, and then
Wait,
sustained that outnumbered side really well. And now,
what number is Phoenix?
yeah. But overall, we see blue team sort of coming back because now they pick up the mid node. They got home fully capped, and there is someone contesting and holding the close node if someone pushes into that. But with the upper buff coming up now, we see some pressure coming out, and Jesus on duty actually manages to knock the Holosmith down there. Yep, really well played. But he's in a 1v2 scenario, or basically with Esprit against in the support. And Aaron coming in there will not change the fact that he goes down here, and maybe he's not even able to get the rest yet. So he definitely has to kite there. Jumping down though is probably too much, but there's no cap coming out for red team. However, now close would be open. They decide not to go for that. Instead, they seem to contest middle. They definitely want some kills here, but I feel like they still need some map pressure going for them. Otherwise, that buff that they picked up right now doesn't really matter. And Blanthrax is being hard pressured here, and going down. And instantly being cleaved out here. Good execution by red team. But still, there's not enough map pressure coming out, I feel like. Phalef picking up the mid node right now, since... but actually now going for Arvin. Well, the question is if he can really get the kill onto him. He still has his tomes available, F2 to F5, F3.
Yeah.
But actually what goes down here? Phalef with the rifle Deadeye, and now Guardian can just easily pick that up. And now with the middle being capped here, Lord Hellsov against Tuut, we might see Hellsov actually dying here. And now with the Pew Pew coming out, and he's dead in a 1-on-1 scenario. So this is pretty big for red team, because it's obviously a lot of kills. With the Thief +1 on the home node, Breno can fully capture his node. But we see if Phalef might be pressured out. Jesus on duty with the shield 5 interrupting Phalef's Dagger Storm, and now he's kiting away with his Rifle 4. Well, there's a lot of pressure coming out actually from him. Jesus on duty forced to use his elixir, but Phalef... Oh, they actually managed to get the kill. And with that, if they now get Phalef rolling in to middle, for example, they could get something done there as well. They're already picking up the node itself anyway. And another thing that we have to keep in mind is that the buff is coming up in 30 seconds, but we see Phalef going down there, and blue team actually managed to get the rest. Red team is pretty spread right now because the Soul Beast went for the decap on the blue team's home node. He's stealthing off to middle now, or deciding... Nah, he doesn't decide to 1v1 the Holosmith there, good decision. He joins the team fight, because if they can get something done in this team fight, will definitely be good, but no one so far is at the lower buff. It's coming up in 15 seconds, and it could be a game changer. With Xenix going down here, red team might be able to push onto it, and Lord Hellsov is there in place. Question is if there's really someone to answer to that, and we see Phalef going down there.
Yeah, that's a...
Now,
oh.
Yep, with the Mantra Day, so there's one.
Actually,
and blue team picks up the upper buff for free, and now rotates in. And now there's 2 people that Phalef has to contest into, and Firebrand offers some decent CC and setup. But at the meantime, we have to say though, since blue team is committing 2 players onto their node, and they actually killed Blum as well. Red team has some node dominance on the upper half of the map, with both mid and far, and now they commit some players down there, and they're pressuring Arvin. And Lord Hellsov is pretty pressured, they do not get the interrupt on his signet there, and now he's pressured out. And if they can get the kill onto him
I
in
think
middle,
they
that
might
could be
be
pretty
able.
huge. Now we see
Nope.
Fairleft sort of wobbling around middle and that Hollowsmith. But I feel like if they could just get lower buff done and pressuring Hellsov out there, that could have been even better because now we just see the support Guardian and Esprit with this very offensive, no elixir as Hollowsmith. And there's a lot of lightning ward action coming out from Blam here. And Esprit is fairly pressured, his heal is coming up. Some resistance coming out. And overall, really good resustain by Messin here. But I feel like someone is going to drop here. And Red
I
Team
would say
seems...
3 probably, or maybe.
Yeah, and the thing is, Red Team does not have two
Oh,
nodes or anything, and Hollis Esprit might go down here, shield
here's the heal.
5.
Oh, there's the
Oh,
heal.
pretty clutch with the CC
Mhm.
there. And Hellsov is being pressured as well.
Oh, they got
Yeah, but with that, if Red Team doesn't play this perfectly now, I mean they got all the upper buffs, this is nice, but if they don't contest this safely and play it perfectly at lower, this will be pretty
There's the
bad
second
for them
person
because
as well.
blue team can really come back. It's still
Yeah.
point-wise, it's pretty close, and with the support going down there, it's really risky. I mean, the only good thing, on the other hand, as long as red team sort of keeps feeding into these players while they have, I mean, they have both nodes picked up there, close and far. So as long as they keep feeding people into there, they're generating a point lead. But overall, if they feed too many kills, they might not be able to come back from this if blue team is able to spread out there in time. I mean, DDEV coming in now with the Dagger Storm just to contest it a little bit more, and now the support Guardian coming in as well. This is overall looking good for the red team, but now we see, due to these kills coming out, the map has changed. There's Hellsov is picking up the home node for his team, and middle node, obviously, that got picked up for blue team as well. But Esprit going down here without an elixir, Jesus on duty coming back, and they can't seem to defend that. Brenner should roll back to his home node, but there's actually a lot of pressure. Like there's pressure coming out onto him, and Jesus on duty, but his might go down in time. Let's check out the lower buff, because Brenno just went down. It's still sort of contested, but Blamthrex died here. And now Aaron has to sustain into Failure and Soul Beast that's pew-pewing his way. Yeah, so as long as they don't get the kill immediately here, this is not looking too good here.
Not good at all.
No?
I don't think. Yeah, he's down.
Yeah, but now with the kill. I mean, Red Team still has, what, 60 points lead. And now they're ticking evenly, so this game is definitely not over. But if they... No, they're not able to pick up this thing in time. And Red Team got a kill onto Xanax here. So with that, they're again starting to tick with 2 points. And then the Stormmate on the lower buff is again appreciated because I really like to do that. It gives them just more ticking points. But also really favorable for the red team. Lord Helsov has been picked up, escaping from a lower buff skirmish with Brenno, Jesus on duty, and Blamthrax. And now they're pushing into the lower buff here again as well. We see some pressure coming out onto Blamthrax. He will go down here. But, yeah. With this storm going on lower, red team really got the nice execution with some kills on the upper half of the map. I mean, now they got the kill onto Brenner, and now they get the decap, but they got the buff, so who cares? And now they can be back in time to contest middle, and this is all they need.
Yeah, they need just one node, I think.
GG at that point. Like, blue team really struggled to get off a really nice outnumber on that buff, and then they probably committed too hard onto it, and they really gave up their no pressure. And we have to say, they're not running a thief, and one might argue that they're a little bit slower on rotation. There's just Hellsov really with a lot of mobility on their team. And overall, like, red team rotated pretty well in there, and especially at the start, because at first we saw blue team coming out superior, but red team recovered really nice from that, and really got some nice map pressure on the upper node, on the upper half of the map coming out. So this was pretty much game deciding. So yeah, let's just actually go rolling again with the cast. Maybe Don if Don quit. Yikes.
It's okay, I can try to help you if you want.
Okay. So this is already pretty sort of late, but we see Sari pushing onto the far node as warrior. Corolla being collapsed upon by low South, being pretty pressured here, but he's able to get out. So we see 3 node split from red team. There's warrior and Heelbreaker and Heelbreaker fighting in the middle. So question is what's happening on the side. Red team is able to pick up their home node, whereas
Yep.
blue team did not pick up a full cap here. Corolla's actually going to sort of stick around, but he already leaves. So now they could maybe get a pick onto the power ref or Lotelsath heal. This would be probably a good target. Yep, Draze and Corolla getting a kill here onto the Revenant is pretty big. Because now they could either transition that onto a 1v2 on far into Blamthrax right here, which is what they actually do, or they could aim to push like the heal breakers, but this is more annoying. Also, Lord Helsoff went down here. Messian is just clearing that out right now, and the thief is contesting into Sari. Obviously, it's very hard for him, and as soon as the Dragon Hunter comes in, there might be a kill onto him. He already used Shadow Stab, but the spear misses, and he should
Nah.
he should be
he
able to
almost
get out
got
at
the
least.
recap.
Like he's doing a lot of work there, but
Yep.
he has to outnumber for so insanely long.
Oof.
And since his teammates died, he doesn't create value by outnumbering. Only if your teammates are doing something else, you're creating an advantage there. Anyway, let's him dying there though is still okay, I'd say. However, the blue team's Revenant goes down again. There's again a good amount of pressure. Lord Helsef plussing into Shuriken right now in the middle node. There will be Sari coming in, but I don't think it or will it be enough? Hellsoft got the interrupt here and the CC onto Shuriken. Yeah, overall, red team's home node is still ticking the entire time, and this is really beautiful for them. And they're able to push Belamthrax off here. And now with the Revenant coming in, they might get some kills. Jazzy has used his elixir. Shield skill's still available, and now he should probably go in the hiding spot, or they get the kill onto Blam. Blam being pulled back here. That's a kill coming out.
Yeah, so it's capping far for free right now.
Yeah.
But lost the
Yeah, I
teammate.
mean that obviously like he wants to create map pressure just so red team doesn't steamroll them, but it's still like not a good position to be in. Also Hellsouth doesn't want to side it really, and he's being answered by 3 people, which is pretty much overkill at this point, but and now they
there's
just
2 on the
leaving one to
respawn.
them.
Yeah, they're rotating back.
Because now they really need to reinforce their far node there. Because with blue team respawning there, we see the Dragon Hunter being 1v2 here by both Blam and the nice F2 there. Yeah, by the Revenant and Blamthrax here. But yeah, now we see the Heal Breaker coming in with some nice sustain, and there should be a sort of tank setup. But since but that made the middle open, and the Thief exploited that and just got a free decap. Halsef is still contesting into 2 people here, both Draz and Sari. But with the Skyhammer coming out, there's neutral on the entire map now. But we already see a 110 point lead for red team, which is pretty big. Because blue team didn't
they
really
got the guard done. Oh, actually,
that might be good.
Yep.
But the thing is that they didn't
really
really seem to be able to hold their nodes as good. There's literally just Rom who can hold nodes really well, and then there's Blam who plays an aggressive side node. So this overall a sort of difficult setup for them here. Anyway, yeah, and since blue team doesn't really get a single cap going for them, red team is just able to accumulate a lot of points. So Blam definitely has. Revenant definitely has to cleave this here. Corolla coming in with stealth and risk potentially. Yeah, he went out, but yeah, Blum is aiding that. And now finally, blue team could actually transition that now into middle. For example, we see Dumme getting a decap there, but on the other hand, their sort of bunker Rom died, and their Revenant has to disengage. So they won't get as much map pressure out of this. And with the Dragon Hunter contesting into Blam again, like they look really thin in middle. Like how are they supposed to keep that cap? They should much rather contest Sari right now, but then they're already being answered to by Corolla. The Hollowsmith could follow in time as well, and the here the Spellbreaker he could just freely cap. But now we see that their home node, the red team's home node is open. This question is if Dom sees that and goes there in time. Oh, they actually managed to get a kill here onto Corolla though in this outnumbered situation. But yeah, Battle Suddenly
Bana.
coming in. Yeah, and now we see Draz rotating in because his Dragon Hunter lost his 1v1 into Blam. However, they're being followed by Hellsoft, and Hellsoft is being followed by Corolla. So, question is if he might commit too hard in here. But we see CC coming out onto Draz, and however, Dragon Hunter, nah, they're not using this pressure right now to res him. However, Thief is coming in, and they might get the rest here. I mean, the good thing right now is that finally Red team picked up both sides, and Red has no nodes ticking. This is so huge because it's really necessary to accumulate a point lead.
Yeah, but on the Skyhammer, Sari got a kill on the Rev.
Oh yeah, that shouldn't really happen.
Yeah.
But Sari is just such an incredible warrior here, which I have to note.
Yeah, I just noticed she's
Yeah,
playing full
but-
Berserker.
Yep. But really, the thing is that blue team needs to sustain this state with the double cap and no points ticking for red team for quite a long time. And pulling that actually off requires a lot of individual skill and a good amount of coordination with your roamers. We obviously don't have it to that level. So red team is back to picking up one node and free capping the other node, and while contesting middle. So red team will most likely accumulate a bigger point lead from now on. Yep. And now the heel break is contesting the far node. However, blue team got to pick onto Corolla. It's just a roamer, and therefore not too much. Sari is answering to Domus, so there's no decap coming out there. But we have a 1v2 situation onto Draze. However, Rom is being pressured and by House of now. Sorry, he was being pressured by Draze, but House of came in with some help there.
Yeah, you got the kill.
But he manages to push off both people here, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, and Doma died in his 1v1 into Sari, which is a sort of questionable choice. But obviously, like, he's testing his limits there. And Sari's definitely a scary opponent for that. Lord Helseth, with the torch and the heal. His heal's coming up. He should be able
Yeah,
to
he's
get
out of
from
combat.
here. A very impressive escape there, but it's not over. And if he gets his signet off, he sort of has time to come back from this. Corolla should be fairly pressured here. And now if they can push off Sari, this could be really good, just to get a neutral node, or maybe even a full cap. Because Sari probably can decap that into Rom once the cap is there. But then it all takes so much time. Dom is picking up middle for free right now, but at the same time, blue team was outnumbered on their home node. The power ref went down, and Blam is still heavily outnumbered. And yeah, he might go down there as well. And now the cannon is in play. And red team, they own the node. Blue team doesn't own any nodes, so it's not interesting to them. But if
Yeah.
they want to, they can just take it for free. Because they're just in such a dominant spot right now. I mean, the fights are going well everywhere. Sari able to, with the rampage to still hold on. Hellsoft being pressured here. He's getting away with a sliver of health. But eventually goes down there. So again, unfortunate for blue team, and the Skyhammer came out from Daisy. And with that, Yep, it's gonna be even more pressure. The freshly capped node, it's just gone. So if we look at the timeline, for example, we see that blue team rarely ever holds their nodes for a long time because they're constantly being decapped or like just fight-wise. There are a good amount of kills coming out as well. Talking of kills, both the Ref and Blam have also died on their home node.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just overall a very dominant game from red team because blue team can't really seem to come back without communications here. And they're now AFKing, at least Blam at this point. They're sort of...
How's it in a 1 versus 3 situation?
Okay, that's worth mentioning.
Oof.
Fun.
Hello.
Oh, welcome back.
Rev has
Yeah.
500 ping apparently. Yeah, he still decided to play. I don't believe it, to be honest.
Is that an alt account?
I don't know, he died 9 times though, so...
But obviously, yeah, it's hard to execute into this as well. Although, well, Spellbook, like the only real danger would be the Holosmith there and maybe a weird tether from the Dragon Hunter, although he's Condi, so that should not be the
Wait,
main
Oh,
issue.
Rev's Condi?
And
Are you saying the Dragon Hunter?
No,
You know, the
oh,
Dragon
I
Hunter is
thought you meant
Condi.
Rev, I was just about to be like, what? How is he
No,
died like
don't worry.
100 times as Condi?
Don't worry.
Oh my god, you got me panicked.
No, but again,
You
a
got me in the first half.
pretty dominant performance coming out. Let's see how this starts out. We see a pretty Roamer-heavy setup from blue team here with Thief and Revenant, as well as Rom as a tank support, Jambeard and Helseth as sort of load sustains. And we actually see a clash coming out here in the middle. Rom is being targeted by Benzo and Oot, but Atlanti gets some really nice pressure onto that Soul Beast. He's running something fairly offensive. Yes, it's a Roma Soul Beast with Berserk Amulet. We got two Nate Holosmiths. We got Blam on his signature pick with the Lightning Rod Weaver contesting the blue team's home node, but they actually managed to pick that up, so it's point sticking for blue team, and Atalante is however being bled out, and Rom got killed off node and the lower mid part as well. So this is overall really messy start coming out. Blam is able to push Jambeard off, but on the other hand, Lord Helseth is being uncontested and picking up the far node due to the +1, like the 2v1 with Impact. However, Impact now should probably just +1 this fight here with Jambeard, because it seems like he's not too comfortable into Blamthrex, but actually with the feed +1, there's a kill coming out for blue team, and they might be able to get 2 nodes ticking. Although Lord Helseth is being 1v2'd here, so he obviously has to give that up. But blue team overall, they might be able to keep themselves in here, but unless Lord Helseth gets a thief, oh, he actually gets out. Pretty slippery, and Atalante and the thief are now pressuring Benzo here. Although Impact is trying to catch up onto that Holosmith, but overall we just saw the rotation of both Romas onto the far node.
Oh, actually.
He's being sort of pressured now.
Yeah,
and Blam, Holosmith should definitely return.
Yep, he's in
being
it.
pressured. Great. But overall, we see a kill coming out onto Jesus on duty here. And let's see how that affects the middle node, because they got Rom as a sort of support here. And he's being really pressured though. Yeah, the Berserker Soul Beast, he's being interrupted here.
Yeah.
The stab was either ran out.
Oh,
or
nice
rigged.
knockback. But
And,
alright,
God damn it, they got Benzo up with that as well. So now the team fight is very messy and even again. So the downstairs that we saw coming out didn't really affect it, and now red team is definitely in the lead here. Impact going for the decap onto the blue team's home node. But let's check out how the 1v1 is going, because before it seemed like Jambeard struggled, but the Nate's Holosmith, Nate's go brr, and he's able to defend his spot. But what about Nate Hollow into Nate Hollow? There's a 2v1 taking place now, and Rom doesn't really seem to care for his side node. For their only nodes, so now. Yeah, there's the neutralizing coming out, and however it's mid and far. being 1 note for each team. So they keep the points ticking evenly, and with the Thief decap coming out in middle, that might be something. However, let's see. Lord Hellseth is being really pressured here
Yep.
by both the rapid fire Soulbeast and the Nate's Hollow. So there's
support
no
warrior
way.
is close, so he can't even get
Yeah,
the banner. Maybe he doesn't
exactly.
even have a banner. Oh, Rom is down.
Oh, Rom actually went
Yeah.
down. That's surprising as well.
I think it
Nate's
was
Cobra,
maybe
as
Nate,
we
yeah.
all know. And with that, Jambier should just really stay super defensive. We see the Roma duo contesting far technically into Cold, but it's a Mendes Soulbeast. And Red Team for that picks up the mid node uncontested, and there's a Holosmith Benzo roaming in. So now the Romas, Atlanti and Impact are fairly in danger here with Benzo coming in, since that just creates so much kill pressure. However, on the blue team's home net, we saw a kill coming out onto Blam, and Jambeard, however, is down as well. They do not get the interrupt onto the Soul Beast with the 10 stacks of stability. He popped his elite there to get a safe stomp, and now he's just being chased away. However, overall, no pressure should technically come out for the blue team, unless they contest it in time. But red team overall, with all these fights going on, they got the node ownership beforehand, and that really gave them a nice point lead here at this point. And now we see Jesus on duty, contesting the only captured node here, and if Rom doesn't get there in time, yeah, he gets on it. This could just bring... Oh yeah, now it just brings a much bigger point lead for the red team as long as this state goes on. But we saw a kill coming out onto Benzo in middle, and the thing is, blue team isn't really able to hold and contest that node into red team's setup. It's just a power revenant picking up middle, and
maybe
also being pressured here again.
and
well
around down. Yeah, but they took way too long. I think maybe Ranger should have focused Hellseth with Jesus. I think they would get much easier kills since Hellseth was like 20%. I think he was out cooldowns.
Yeah, so overall we really see like red team having advantages in these team fights, and they really go for these sort of matchups there. And since blue team tries to contest into them and doesn't really get rotational advantages through Thief and Ref, Hellseth actually went down here in this 1v2 scenario. They just really struggle overall to get something done because they kind of really hold their nodes, and they don't get constant kills to sort of sustain their snowball state. So yeah, with the 1v2 coming out, it's Rom and Jambeard. I mean, they can technically contest far here now, S2, but there's 3 people pushing into Jambeard, so he will be pressured.
Does he have a elixir to run away?
I mean, there's a battle standard from Rom, but he doesn't have stability to cover it, so it could potentially be CC'd here. However, Rom casually, as a spellbreaker, standing on the node inside of 3 people. And this outnumbered state, actually, however, we have to see it, allowed blue team, on the other hand, to 3v1 on their home node, and Hellseth is just finishing off Blanthrax here, and the Thief Ref duo is contesting middle right now. However, we see the kill coming out onto Jambeard, because Rom is sort of stuck at contesting the node.
Oh no, Jambeard the clip.
Nope. Because he was too low already.
Not being scared. I mean, they were just focusing Jambeard, and
no,
I don't think he's really threatened from Nether's Soul Beast.
But let's see what, with the 3v1 taking place and Blam dying on their home node, we see blue team recovering actually, and this is what needs to happen constantly, like what happened there. But now we see
I don't think they can recover from one node.
Exactly, but just the rotational principle behind it.
Yeah.
Like just we saw a number on far, and that allowed for a bigger number on close. With that kill, they were able to technically transition it, but then we saw Impact dying here, however, and now Atlanti has to sort of contest middle as a power ref. That's obviously again not what you really want to do. Yeah, Rom going down, Hellseth sort of standing around, and Impact not sure whether or not he wants to plus into Blanthrax Jambeard. The good thing about it is that it's a very volatile matchup. So there is kill pressure on both sides. However, Holosmith is definitely easier to execute there. We see a kill onto Atlanti. He couldn't kite off the Soul Beast there. Now Hellseth is just sort of sustaining around middle, but I don't think he's able to hold that. And with Soul Beast coming in right now, that could be really dangerous for him.
Yep.
stealth coming out, but
Oh,
Rom is
Rom
there
is
to
there,
sustain
yeah.
him possibly. But yeah, we will see the mid node being picked up for red team very soon again if they can't contest this node. However, the Soul Beast is fairly pressured here, knocked back with the greatsword, and he gets out in time. We see House of chasing Arlantius there as well. They really need to go for these aggressive plays, and they really need to get kills. Otherwise, we see it. They lose these sustained fights, and they can't hold the node as good. But now with a kill coming out onto that, maybe we see some transitions of these kills, so that they can actually contest and capture nodes. Meanwhile, Home is being neutralized, and Impact does not get a successful decap onto the Soul Beast on his home node. However, Jesus on duty being pressured here in the Elixir S and goes actually down.
Yeah,
So with that
pump.
kill, they might be able to pick up their home node. Sorry, the middle node. And we see Atlanti roaming into Blam.
Benzo very low. Yeah, Benzo
Yeah.
like 7%. He's dead.
And he goes down as well.
Yep, there's this.
So, yeah, Jambeard, however,
Oh,
being
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
pressured.
yeah.
Atlanti is just
Yeah.
very offensive, but there's no really resustain, not really
Does he have a
resustain on
net?
him. With the
Oh, yeah,
Elixir
he
S, Jambeard is able to go. Yep, he manages this jumping puzzle successfully.
Yeah, but Atlanti
Yeah.
has no heals. He might die here. Ooh,
Yeah.
there's the knockdown.
So this is really too much
he's
pressure
dead.
here coming out.
But Rom maybe will
Unless
be better.
Rom gets the battle standard here.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Oh.
Gazelle knocked him out, or
No,
he
he
didn't place
he
it
missed
far
it.
enough.
I mean, yeah.
That's free hitting him with the XD, and
Yeah.
since Blam now has picked up their home node, there's again more points ticking in for the red team, which is really nice. And we also have to mention that Far can't really seem to get something done here, and the middle is now being contested. So it would be probably the right choice to move the Mirage onto middle right now, because there is the Berserker Soul Beast picking that up for free, and the fight taking place on the blue team's home node, with the Rom as a support coming in right now. We see some pressure coming out onto Jambit, but actually they're returning onto Blam, and Blam is going down here, and Jesus on duty being forced off the node. Blue team can pick up their home node now, but the thing is, they didn't completely turn this fight, and red team still has so much node ownership. Blue team can't really seem to hold and contest these nodes after they got these kills. And since there's not a constant snowball of kills rolling in, yeah, it's just hard for them. Ref Atlanti here has his heal available. He manages to neutralize the node, and now with the +1 from Impact coming in onto the Soul
Yeah,
Beast,
but Benzo is coming as well.
yeah, we might see a kill. But with Benzo replying, it's gonna be hard. And
Yeah.
Atlanti goes down. Impact stealthing here, and with Float Health out there, actually able to pick up the rest. And if they target the Soul Beast, he's dropping fairly low, 25%. They could get something done here. But again, we have to mention Close is being picked up again, and there's Cole standing on his node the entire time. So it takes so much time to actually transition these kills that they got here in middle for red team overextending. And they're just doing such a good job at actually holding their node, creating outnumbered situations. I really like the Holosmiths there. And it just seems like both Ref and Thief do not have enough impact to constantly get these kills rolling. It's really hard to execute, obviously. And then with Mirage and the Knight Holosmith, that's obviously not too much node pressure, and it's sort of like more an aggressive pick. And Rom's sustain there coming out does not make the difference, since there's pretty much one player who really can contest the node. So yeah, that's overall, yeah, not enough kills coming out, and therefore red team takes up a pretty solid game here. Whew.
Breathe.
Breathe. Air. Oh, guys, air is lovely.